Hi Moses, Joy and Sam. This time I want to talk about the calling. What is the calling? Calling is related with the job, workplace. So when God created the humans, I think that everybody has their own callings. So God makes human being harmoniously, created this world with harmony and order. And He always tried to make it order and make it work naturally and provide all things, resources to human beings. So there are so many jobs these days, various kinds of jobs. Nowadays I have a keen interest about the YouTuber. This is a new job. 100 years ago, even 20 years ago, there was no such kind of jobs. But because the internet is growing and developed, and with this, there is the many broadcasters using internet. There are so many people, especially I think that South Korea is the foremost, and up to the state of art, using state of the art technology, and pioneers and frontiers explore new horizons, new market. For example, Africa TV, Africa AFREECA TV, Africa TV. There are thousands of broadcasters. They call BJ. And the top BJ of Africa TV, they earn money $100,000 a month. But it is a new market, so competitive, so it is very hard for them to continue to earn such a huge money a month. But top 20, in July, the top 20 BJ, the 20th BJ earned 36 million won. It means $36,000. No, it is about $32,000 or $33,000 a month. And I tried as a Africa BJ, and I stopped now because about 1.5 weeks, 1.5 months ago, I began, and as I did here, but with different topics, I upload some videos. But anyway, there is no viewers, not many viewers. So if there is no 100 more viewers, that video automatically will be deleted in 4 weeks. For 4 weeks, you have to gain 100 viewers, and for 6 months, you have to gain 500 viewers. If not, it will be deleted. So my video files were deleted. but I checked my rank. So today I was ranked as a mobile BJ, about 4,300 blah blah the BJ. It means that I didn't work these days, so more than 4,000 people using smartphone, and there are so many also people using notebook kind of PC, desktop or notebook. So I don't know. I think that almost 10,000 or 6,000. I don't know exactly, but anyway. So BJ, it's a YouTuber. Jobs. Who can succeed in this field? You have to speak. So if you are not talkative, you cannot succeed in this market. But you know, there are some people who succeed, who are not talkative, but mainstream. You have to talk 5 hours or 6 hours continuously. And you have to be patient. There are so many people gathered in one program, and they chat so fast. And I saw one the program. The chatter sent money and request something, for example, push-up. So $20, and you have to push up 200 times. So you don't have to talk much in this kind of program. But anyway, if you are talkative, you need to be patient, and you have to use up-to-date or state-of-the-art technology. Then you can be a YouTuber. So such kind of talent, gift is needed for success of your field. And according to the Martin Luther, the reformer, religious reformer in the early 16th century, he was a German and a priest. But he in his book or article, he said that all Christians are called by God. Before Martin Luther, the Catholic Church, usually they say that only priests are called by God. So there was a class, the priests are called by God, and normal, ordinary people are not, or even noble are not. So such kind of idea ruled quite a long time the Western the area. But from Martin Luther, especially the Protestant, all Christians are called by God. You are a high priest. You are called by God. You are priestly nation. So kingly priest. You are kingly priest. So, but where? Where is very important question for us to know. For example, when I was elementary school, I was quite smart in small elementary school because it was a remote area, it was a village, and not many people lived there. So I was brilliant among them. And I went to middle school, and middle school has 4 elementary school students gathered in one middle school, and there was competition. But I was also top class student in middle school. And high school is different. Middle school, we have 9 classes, quite many. So in one class it's about 50 or 60 students. It means 500 or 600 students were there in 1 year, in 1 grade. But most of the students who really study, they go to the city. They went to the city, good high schools. But the high school where I graduated, I finished, was a small. Only 3 classes with about 300, 60 students. So all, we have all the, no, I was a baby boomer. Now only 1 class. 1 class about 30 students these days. But when I was there, I think there are about 300 students. I'm not sure. I forgot how many classes were there. But in 1 class it's about 50 or 60 students. And yeah. And about 300 students. So the other 300 usually they're scattered into the city high schools too. Most of them were rich because they have to pay tuition also, and also they have to pay boarding fee. So so I was smart to study. So some students, after finishing high school, they went to college. And some students, they went to technical kind of institute, the special kind of, blue collar, the workers. They went to be, they wanted to be a blue collar workers. And not many people went to Seoul to enter into the college. And since I got a high score, high grade students, I could enter into college. And I think it was one of the gift, one of the talent, and this thing is related with my calling. And in the freshman year, I was invited to the Bible study, and I came to know God, and I came to know Jesus, and my life was changed. So such kind of things. Gift. But I think that I have no gift, especially drawing picture. I have absolutely no such kind of talent, drawing pictures. Yeah, I could sing a song, but I could not read the note. I just heard and repeat to sing. In sports, I think I have a little bit talent in sports, but not professional. I didn't exercise like that professionally, but I could enjoy. So I want to, you have already grown. Moses is college student, bioengineering, and Joy is chemical engineering, and Sam wanted to be a doctor, medical doctor. And I think that it is related with your education. If you are born as I was born, and if you are born when I was born, I don't think you could do it. But since you were educated in proper the education system, especially in America, so you can be a person related with your major. And nowadays there are many jobs, especially in engineering part, the field. So I think that when you think about your job, think the far away and think big. Your motivation or life, the goal, it's not just the money. It's not just a stable life. But I think that when we live here in this world, we cannot live alone. We need to cooperate. We need to live in harmony. So we need a person like Jason Park, like a Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. They're sports stars. But if you demand your children to be like Messi or Ronaldo, and force them to do suckers, for example, it is not wise. And when I was young, so many parents did in South Korea because it was very poor. They want to escape from the poverty, so they try to raise their children to gain money. So you have to be a doctor, medical doctors, you have to be a lawyers, you have to be a kind of public officers, bankers, money-related jobs. And they always try to, it is not just the respect for their talent, but it is related with the safety or security issue. But you don't have to do that nowadays. So you just follow the deep heart. When you grow your children, watch carefully and respect their desires, inner desires, and motivation. What is the source of their motivation? What they really like to do? Think about it. I think that is related with the future job. That is a calling. So as Christians, when we work in some companies or in the organizations, that is the place of worship God. In South Korea, these days are a little bit different, but even now, people think that you worship God only in church. And when you worship God only when you meet worshipers, the fellow Christians, in the cell meeting. No, it is not. You worship God wherever you go, especially where you work hard. Your mom is working at the water plant nowadays, and it is beautiful, and she works very hard, and she enjoys it. Do you know why? Because it is quite important and precious, valuable, and she also, the work is related with her major. She finished the chemistry in the undergraduate level. Yeah, she finished pharmaceutical science in graduate level. But anyway, the work now is related with her major, and she can do it very well. If I were in her position, I can't do that because I'm not mathematical kind of person. Or I'm not good at chemistry. You know, I don't like it actually. So I cannot enjoy such things. But I really love and like to talk about international politics and things related with politics and the lifestyle. It's quite not a natural science, but I think that it's the field of art and the humanity. It's a social science. So the calling. And some people are called to be a housewife or house husband. Nowadays, the role of the husband and wife is very progressive and flexible. So under Confucius' idea, usually men work, women work at home, men work outside. But nowadays, the society was changed, and it is very complicated. And more and more, there is no discrimination, sexual discrimination in finding jobs and working at the companies. Yeah, I know that there are some ceilings in high level of working place, but soon it will be disappeared. So you can be a house husband or you can be a housewife if God allows you to do that. You don't worry about it. Sometimes you need to be like that. If you and your spouse you agree, then it's okay. Yeah. So calling is important. If you're happy to work there in your job, that I think it is one of the good evidence of your calling. If you are not happy, check your calling. If you are not happy in your workplace, try to find a suitable place where God has already ready for you. But God does not force us to do something. God calls you, but He does not force you to do that. He respects your choice. So if you choose another thing, God is ready to help you to do that work. But one thing, everywhere, anywhere you go, you need to remember God's calling. If you go in your workplace, follow the guidance of the Holy Spirit. God is working there. So work together with God because God is in you. So when I worked, at first in Moscow, I worked in Hanse International, which is a very, very small company, the tourist company, and doing everything kind of, because Russia was the former USSR. We could not visit there because there was no diplomatic relations. But after it divided into 15 republics, the Russian Federation was different, and there, yeah, I lost. Yeah. So I worked at Hansa International, and there I sometimes traded with tourists, or worked with tourists, and mostly I worked with newspaper-related things, but not quite a long time. And I had to quit because Maria, the first wife, was operated because of cancer, stomach cancer, and we had to return. At that time, I didn't know about the calling kind of, any kind of perception, right? Understanding of jobs. Just I tried to find a job there, and I began my social life there. And when I returned to Korea, and I found a job, and I entered LG Chemicals. I began to work at LG Chemicals. But for about one and a half years, I worked there, and found out that it is not my job, because LG Chemicals is related with natural science and engineering. Even though I knew something, I learned something related with chemicals and products, I was not sure about my future. And also, I had to work at night because I had to contact with overseas branches. So there are not many free time for me, because my wife, Maria, was were alone at home and being treated with chemical therapies. So I had to move. I decided to move my job, and I got a job at Korea University as a staff there. And I think that it was normal for me, because it is related with not natural science, but it is educational system. So I could successfully work there. But I felt that something is not sufficient for me to work there. And when your mom suggested me to go to America to study further, so I agreed. Because your mom, Lydia, she is smart, I think. In her field, in the chemistry field and natural science, she is quite smart. But because she married with me and she stopped study, she always had a regret. So we had a promise that if the last kids enter into elementary school, then the Lydia can study further. And Sam, when he entered elementary school, Lydia began to study further. Actually, 2 years ago, she began to study again. In 2010, as you know, we went to America in Ohio, and it was good. And she learned and found a suitable job there. It is quite amazing to get a job there, because she had a communication problem. She was smart in her field, in study and research, but she was not good at communication. Learning English in her 40s, quite not easy. So she failed in some courses in nursery, and God led her into the water plant, and she could find a job there, and she's working now happily, even though the payment is not sufficient for us to do everything we want, but I think that God will provide us enough money to do necessary things for our family. So think about always calling. God's calling is the best. Remember that His calling is the best. You will be happy and you will be recognized by everybody, and your life is filled with joy and peace if you are in His calling. But if you are not, something is not sufficient, will not be sufficient for you. And there will be some troubles and problems. And think about it. Am I stand before God in His right direction, right calling? When I work at the university, Korea University, I felt such discrepancy of God's calling. And I found my real calling from God in America. In August 2011, when I prayed to God, and I was touched by the Holy Spirit in Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10. Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Truly I will help you. Truly I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And I heard the voice of God that I am your God. He said to me, I am your God. And He told three things after that when I asked, if you are my God, who am I? And He told me three things. If you are interested in me, you would know it, but I don't think you know it. But anyway, someday you will know three things. He told me. That's why, and I followed His direction and guidance. That's why I returned to Seoul and began a new life here, even though there was some conflicts with your mom. But now we have peace, and we have restored our relationship. But the relationship between you, my children, and me, I don't think it is restored fully. It will take time. And I'm very sorry not being with you in your very precious years. But it will be compensated. You will know why it was happened and why we live apart quite a long time. But anyway, internet helped us to be connected, even though this kind of conversation was not there because of the time limit and because of the relations problem. But I want to restore the proper relationship with you again. And I believe that God will do that. Anyway, my children, I love you. And I hope and pray that God will lead you according to His calling. And you follow His calling. That is the best way. Remember that. Okay, see you next time.